Good afternoon. Good Sunday to everyone. How's everybody going today? A little cold. I think it's cold everywhere. It's cold, and that's where I'm going to be going. Start heading towards the house on. Be home by Tuesday evening, Wednesday morning, somewhere in that area. Yeah, it's cold everywhere. Where you at, D? You're in Texas, right?
Yeah, I'm in Texas. I'm in Rockwall. It's pretty cold. It's like low 30s over here right now.
Oh, shit, I think it's like 18 where I'm at. I'm just south of St. Louis.
And to top it off, it's windy outside, so that's not even making it any better.
Buddy, I don't even want to hear about the wind. I was driving through Oklahoma this morning, and man, I've literally got like 3,300 pounds on the truck, and it was blowing me around everywhere. So I basically got an empty trailer.
Uh huh.
It,
Uh
man,
huh.
it was bad. What's up, Right Way to Truck? Glad you're here, man. Glad you're here. We got 5 people in the house. Yeah, it's been a good couple weeks. I shot out a pre-recorded video. I haven't done one in 3 weeks, and kind of went over my numbers of what I did the last 3 weeks. I made more money in the last 3 weeks since I came back to Schneider than I probably made the whole time I was at F2F. Just to kind of
Nice.
give you
That's
an
pretty.
idea. Well, I mean, going through the numbers, I've made about between 5 and 6 grand just in the last 3 weeks. I mean, to me, that is, money to me.
Yeah.
And the first week was just the orientation pay and and I only worked like 4 days. So yeah, I've done pretty good. I've done pretty good. What's up, Jonah Green? Good evening. 56 degrees where you're at. 56 is better than 18, that's for sure.
Better than 30s, low 30s. I'll give you that much, man. It's crazy out here. I had started my week out in Virginia. I had a load that I delivered down in Washington, right outside Washington area. And I hopped over to Maryland to pick up this load that I'm currently on right now. I'm finna deliver that tomorrow morning at 5 o'clock in the morning. And then I have an 11 stopper after this. So 11 stops all in the
11
south.
stops.
11 stops all in the south, all in this polar vortex as they call it. I'm gonna be
My God, I hope that thing
doing
pays well.
that, you
I've
know.
never done an 11 stopper before.
It's paying pretty decent for what it is. I finish out in South Carolina over there by the Savannah area. So
Hmm.
hopefully I can find me something else coming back this way again. I try to do a rinse and repeat. I don't know about doing another 11 stops, but try to find me another load
Right.
going back to the East Coast as well too.
You
Yeah.
know, I know you had a brief stint at Schneider too, but you know what Schneider reminds me of in a roundabout way?
What is?
It it reminds me of working at Swift, dude. Honestly, it's
How
pretty
so?
much cut because it's cut and paste. I mean, you pick your load. I can only imagine with their new load board if it's actually a good load board. It's just cut and paste, man. You pick your load, you roll. I don't hear from anybody, dude. You
Have
know,
you
I
are you still on that old board, or have you been using that new Schneider board they
I,
got?
I switch back and forth. Country kind of describes that, but eventually it's all going to be on the new board here by March, April is what I was told. But
Okay.
I switch back and forth, man. There's pluses and advantages to both of them, and that's one of the reasons why they haven't switched to the new board completely yet because it doesn't give you your deadhead miles. There's a few things that are, but you can see who the shipper and receiver is on the new board, but on the old one you can't. But on the old one, it calculates your deadhead miles, so you know what you're getting paid, per mile with your deadhead
Right.
included, plus you're loaded. So there's pluses, and honestly, I think there's more loads on the old one than there is on the new one, and the reason is because I think the new load board is mostly the spot market stuff, and
Okay.
our old one is contract rate, and eventually they're going to combine the two together to the new one is what their plans are. So, what's up, Bull of the Woods? Happy Saturday. I'm sorry, Sunday to you too. I can't even keep up with what day it is, man. I've been.
Yeah. It's
It's just been,
Sunday. It's a bit early for us to be doing a live too. So
dude. You know what? It's the 19th. I mean, think about this for a second. It's the 19th already. We're already over halfway through the month, and we just had the new year, man.
right,
Literally.
right.
I feel like and the reason we did the live early today, guys, is because of Trump's rally tonight. I had a feeling that we wouldn't get a lot of viewers, and also I wanted to watch it too. But I got to tell you guys, I think we're all going to be in for a good surprise the next couple of years. I think things are going to be good. I already see some things changing. I still look at some of the low boards. They haven't actually taken me off of them yet, so I'm still looking at stuff. And I think we're going to have. I think we're going to have at least a good 4 years with Daddy T being back. Let me read some of these comments.
Daddy T, that's your daddy.
Dave, yeah, he's everybody's daddy right now. Dave Hazlitt, my buddy Coach said you should follow him around the company since you like to move so much. He is willing to buy you a cowboy hat. Well, I appreciate that, Dave. I'm glad you're probably one of the troll accounts from certain other YouTubers that I will not mention. But yeah, I'm thinking about calling
my buddy Coach.
Yeah, I'm thinking about calling Coach, and I'll make sure that Dave, that you can get on over there with him wherever they go to. How's that sound? Right way to truck. 18. You idle in that truck in these temperatures?
You damn skippy I am, boy. It's too that cold out here to not be idling, man. But it's like probably like an hour in the night. I probably fall asleep. I'll be ice cold in the morning. Got to crank it up. Speaking of which, man, it's been 3 times that my batteries have died because of how cold it is outside. And lucky enough, I always have jumper cables on me, so there's always a trucker that's nice enough to help me start it back up. But yeah, man, it's getting real. It's been biting cold out here, but yeah. I was just idling it here for the last 2 hours, give or take or so, just because of how cold it is. I think I might need to get me some batteries soon enough, anyways, because they just seem to like die. So yeah, it's pretty cold. I'm idling. I gotta stay warm. I thought it was actually gonna be a little bit warmer here in Texas, but since we got that polar vortex that's coming up, starting late in this evening tomorrow, it's just not happening right now. Right now, I do have it turned off because it's probably gonna be a little bit too loud to be idling while we're doing it live, but I should be okay for a couple hours, give or take.
So, Jonah Green, we just had Christmas last week and Thanksgiving the week before. That's what it feels like. You know what? I agree with you 1,000%.
Absolutely. And a funny thing, tomorrow is also another federal holiday. So I'm even questioning whether or not I'm able to deliver this load tomorrow, but I'll figure it. I'm pretty sure they have that time set for 5:30 in the morning. That pretty much means that they probably want it. So we'll see.
Thank God mine's dropping hook on both ends. Actually, this one I have is dropping hook in where am I going to? In Ohio. It was on the tip of my tongue up there by Toledo, and then once that's done, I pick up literally 140 miles away in Indiana, and that's the load that's home to Florida, and it's dropping hook all the way around, so I don't have to worry about it too much. Yeah, we got 15 people in here, believe it or not, on a Sunday. Yeah.
I've got a couple on my end as well too. I was
most
actually quite surprised because everybody's normally expecting us later on in the evening, but a little bit earlier, not too bad. It'll give me plenty of time to enjoy my barbecue later on this evening if I want to brave the cold, walk over to Solomons.
And God, this was a last minute decision that I made literally about 10:30 this morning, because I forgot the rally was on, and I didn't think a lot of people would show up tonight, because last week's live really got affected because everybody went live at the same time. And we only had at one time maybe 21 viewers at one time, but believe it or not, it got a lot of views. It got like 215 views since last week. So they are watching our shows. They are watching. So let's see here. James, how is F2F going? Are you switching to the 80% board anytime soon? So Ritter Trucking, I'm not with F2F any longer. I am back at Schneider. I'm not saying F2F's a bad company, but I just don't think I just don't think the spot market's ready yet. I actually went over there on a whim because of what JB Hunt was doing, and honestly, I think I went about 3 or 4 months too early. Not saying I won't ever go back to F2F, but I'm not ready for that right now. There's a lot of extra stuff that goes with that. I hope that
Hmm.
answers your question. I'm sure it does, but drop down to 11 people. Might have some trolls today, buddy, because like I said, I just put out that video a little while ago.
Hey, trolls are nice. Trolls are welcome.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. How about we get into some of the news articles that we have here from last week. This first
That
one
sounds
here is
good.
going to be a doozy for you guys.
Go right ahead, man.
Let's
Well, you only
let's
got 11 people in here. You want to get some more people in here before you start saying the news?
it depends on you. However you want to do it. I'm gonna just go ahead and just put this in the background. Whenever you're
Well,
ready to do that, we could do
go
that.
ahead, man. Actually, another 4 people just popped right on. So go ahead and do your news.
All right. Let's see here. All right. So first one we got up here today. You go ahead and pop that up.
Yeah, I'm gonna read these here real quick while you're doing that. James, are things better at Schneider than you were the last time, or about the same? OTR Vic, they are about the same. They've cleaned up a lot of stuff. This new board actually helps out on a lot of things. But to answer your question, it's really about the same. Schneider's a lot like Swift, like I was telling him earlier. I don't know if you heard me or not, but the two companies parallel each other, especially with the loads that they have available and the way they do things, other than just Schneider having the load board. Now, I know Swift has the load board too, but I'm not familiar with it because they didn't have it when I was there. But the two companies kind of parallel to each other. You run your loads and make your deliveries, and a lot of it's drop and hook. Go ahead, read your news, buddy. I'm sorry.
Okay. You go ahead and pop it up there. I put it in the present screen
Oh,
for
I
you.
see. I see.
Yeah, so you can load it up.
Here you go.
Let's see. Amtrak train hits truck semi truck in Auburn. No injuries were reported. So this happened not too long ago on the 8th yesterday on the 18th. Let's see. A train filled with passengers slammed into a semi truck on the railroad tracks in Auburn, and everyone walked away uninjured, according to the police. Officers report a semi truck made a wrong turn and got stuck on the train tracks on 29th and B Street Northwest. On Sunday morning, the truck driver and the passenger escaped, and escaped the semi unharmed before the collision. So I tell you what, the only thing that got hurt here was that semi truck itself, because I was reading some of the comments and they pretty much kept the train in service because it had minimal damage on it. Let's take a look here and see what really happened here.
Make the video big, Keith.
Man, I don't know if he had any space to back up, but he just reamed him right there. Pretty good. Yep. So what do you guys think about that? Do you guys ever find yourselves lost on the road, coming up on the train tracks that, funny enough, they're a little bit high, and you get your landing gear stuck on them. You can't move. Anybody ever almost been in a situation like that?
Nope, not me. I don't put myself in situations like that. I've never been in that situation, nor have I ever tried to. I love how you found that to where you can present shit like that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Let's go to the comments. Let's see what we got in there.
Uh, Joe homies. Times are tough, but keep up the hard work, drivers. Yeah.
We appreciate
What's
that.
up? What's up, James? Hello, bacon and bourbon. Excuse me. I saw you texted me earlier, man. I was driving, and honestly, I was just getting ready to stop, and I was getting prepared for this live. So I'll be driving later tonight. If you're up, I'll give you a ring. Sorry, I've been watching your labs. I'm not sure how Miss is. Poppy's still at F2F, and I've already responded to him. Yes, he's at F2F. Steve Warmood, JB just opened the premium load board to all the drivers. Yeah, there's a lot that goes to that. Not really going to go into a whole lot of details about that. Me and Poppy was going to do a live about that, but we've kind of changed our mind to stay out of the limelight with that right now. But anyways, that's kind of where we're at on that. The premium load board ain't all that great, just to let you know. No Limit says, what is your guys' opinion on Reisinger Transport? I don't know who Reisinger Transport is. Do not know anything about them. If there's anybody in here watching, comment on here. Or if anybody knows anything about Reisinger Transport, comment on here.
I'll tell you what I can do here for you real quick. I can give you a quick snapshot of Reisinger. If we go to their FMCSA safer web score, let me put that up for you so you can at least have an idea of what type of company they got going on here.
Hey, Aquila, how are you?
Go ahead and
All
pull
right,
that up, James.
there you
Let's
go.
see. So that's your DOT number right there. Carrier broker. They're carrier and a broker, and they're active. Let's see, 29,397,000 miles in 2023 alone. It's pretty decent.
How many trucks though?
Let's see, 334 power units,
Okay.
289 drivers, and they are out of Illinois. Morton, Illinois. I don't know if that's in the Chicagoland area or whatnot. Let's look at their scores down here. See inspections, 163 on the vehicles, 419 on drivers, 3 hazmat, out of service, 46 and 5. They are above the national average for out of service on their vehicles, but way below average on their drivers. And 4.44% on their hazmat out of service as well too. And this is as of 12/27 of 2024. So just looking at this, 30% out of service on their vehicles, they're at least what 8-10% above the national average. Lets me know that they might have a little bit of trouble with keeping their unit spotless and clean. So
Sounds like the drivers do their part. It's just the company doesn't do their part on the equipment.
yeah, that's what it's looking like. Let's see. 0 fatalities, 5 injuries, 19 tows. I mean, so far it seems to be I guess besides their trucks and stuff, everything else seems to be on the up and up. So there's your company snapshot right there for Reisinger Transportation.
No problem. No limit. That's kind of why we do what we do. We try to bring the
Yeah, welcome,
information as
man.
best we can.
You ever have a question about a company we might not know them specifically? We can always pull up their safer web information, and we can just go through it and see what they got going on. Let's
All right.
see.
Well, show me how to do this now. Since we don't have any comments, how do you bring that up to present? You go down to present, right?
Uh huh.
Where do you go to from there?
Share screen,
Okay. All right.
and hit share screen again, and
Okay.
then it'll come up with all your web tabs that you wanna show. You can do it just like that. Simple
Uh,
enough.
no, I'm. It's not letting me. It only has Streamyard to show.
If that's the only tab you have open, that's all it's
I've,
gonna show
I've
you.
got I've got like 7 or 8 tabs up.
All right, you go to present, share screen,
Hang on. Let's go back down. Present. Uh huh.
share
Share
screen,
screen. Okay.
and then it'll bring you up, and it says Chrome tab, Windows, and entire screen. You hit on the Chrome tab, and it'll show you all the tabs that you have open on your computer.
Okay. It doesn't do that for me. It says select window or screen, but it won't. The only one it
Oh,
has is StreamYards.
I also have my windows separated as well too. Like I have just StreamYard on one side of the computer, and then all the other tabs, like my news articles and all that stuff, is like it's on the other side. So if I show it to you, this is what it looks like here on my computer. On if it, uh, this is what my computer looks like right now. If you can see it,
Hang on a second here. Let me
yeah,
get
that's
rid
what
of
my
this. Let me get rid of this tab. Hold on a second.
make sure I don't got nothing crazy on going on up here. Nope.
Yeah, this makes absolutely no fucking sense to me at all.
Maybe I'll show you another time. Maybe later.
Browser has blocked your screen. Click the screen icon in your address bar to allow access.
What are you using?
I'm using Mozilla Firefox.
I see. That's probably why. I got Chrome. That's what I'm using.
Let's see if I can do a video file.
Should be able to do all that stuff. Yeah.
Let's see what happens here. I don't know what this video is, but we'll see. It could be bad. It could be not bad. All right. So
You
that's
didn't
what
have to do it that way.
remove from studio. Okay. So that works. All right. Interesting. I just got to figure out how to add pages
See,
to it.
like I can do video files as well too. Like this. Let's see. Nah, I'm not gonna do that one. Yeah, I could just do it just a simple file on
So
my
it's telling me
computer.
right here, screen shares is easy with two screens. Screen sharing works best on a good computer. Use Chrome if you want to share audio with your. Okay. So I guess I got to flip over to Google Chrome to do it. Next time I do it, I'll go to Google Chrome.
That'd be
All right.
next time.
Yeah. We're down to 7 people, man. Some people disappeared, I guess. Nobody wants to hear our asses today.
Hey, let me get to the second one that I have here today.
All right.
Let's see. I actually do have only two today. Yep, this is my last one that I got. Share screen. There you go.
Okay.
All right, so this one here is about Highway. Say owner operators allege Highway is overstepping with their carrier onboarding process. Carrier is a service that agent brokers use with carriers to say, for instance, they never hauled anything with them. They'll send them a carrier packet. You fill out your information and you send it back through the Highway system, and you'll be able to run loads for that particular broker. Now, the problem with Highway is nowadays that they're asking for too much information. Some information that just doesn't make sense. They're asking for titles. They're asking for registrations. They're asking for. I believe there's one video. Some guy was saying that he asked. Highway was asking him to. The broker that was using Highway asked him to take a picture, take a video of him in front of the truck with these specific numbers written on a piece of paper right next to the truck name so that they know that he's real. Like they've been asking for like crazy stuff. So let's in this article, let's get into it here. In the ever shifting carrier vetting landscape, owner operators sometimes find themselves buried in paperwork just to get onboarded with a broker that they've already hauled for. That's what two owner ops told Overdrive about a handful of big brokers using Highway, a Dallas based carrier vetting and onboarding platform. with some data requirements that these carriers find over the line. Both owner operators Overdrive spoke to hauled using glider kit trucks and paper logs. In the last few months, they reported some broker customers moving over to RMIS to Highway for their onboard and monitoring provider, and in the process, essentially locking them out of freight. I have a 2020 Freightliner with a 98 engine in it. I am not required by law to run ELD, said V, an owner operator with nearly 20 years of authority behind her. Now, brokers say they won't use me because of it. I'm losing thousands of dollars, loads and loads, and some of these brokers I've been set up with before. V has seen brokers blacklist carriers before, so she's declined to give her full name fair in retaliation. V said Axel Logistics and Buchanan Logistics stood among the brokers she worked with before that have turned to Highway. With the way things have gotten, she has felt that she had something to say. When she tries to onboard with a broker through Highway, they ask for her cab card, certificate of insurance, a copy of her driver's license. She said, in some cases, they ask for the truck VIN, a copy of the title, and a copy of the loan payment on the truck. V says she was having a little meltdown behind the stupidity our society has come to, as she thinks that her vital information that could be used to impersonate her if it fell into the wrong hands. That's overstepping, and that's none of their business. See, like I said earlier, Highway's been asking people, like I said, asking for your cab card and your certificate of insurance. That's one thing, but when you start asking for a VIN and a copy of my title, I just think that we're going a little bit too far with that. Because say for instance, when there's a shady broker that's using the highway service and they're collecting copies of titles, it's nothing for them to go to the DMV and get that title probably rebranded in their name and come and take your truck. So
Hmm.
imagine if something like that happened to you. Like, what would you do at that point?
I think that would be hard to retitle your truck like that, though.
I don't
That
know.
would be.
I mean, like I said, if they have a copy of the title, anything's possible at this point. You know how the DMV is always backed up there. They really double check anything nowadays. So a lot of things get slipped through.
Uh, that would fall back to the DMV, and you'd probably have a lawsuit out of that too.
hmm And let's see, last part of it says Wersh said V when she calls into highway, she's connected to overseas call centers that she feels don't sufficiently understands her concerns. So there we go, another system using a foreign agency for customer service, and it's just gonna get harder and harder for people to just to deal with foreigners when they're trying to get stuff done over here on this side of the world. A Highway spokesperson responded to Overdrive's request for comments on V's experience. Highway employs team members in offices all over the world to be able to provide 24/7, 365 support to carriers and brokers, including a dedicated team based in the Philippines who provides overnight support, the spokesperson said, adding that Highway provides support in English, Spanish, and French, and carriers should let them know if they would like to see other languages supported. Highway was founded in 2021, just popped out of nowhere and started putting people out of business, said V, citing the administrative ask of onboarding through them. The people at Highway might counter that the company has been fighting fraud, but for V, a non-fraudulent real carrier having to contend with with their process, that doesn't really move the needle. All that paperwork only covers a single load, too, noted a second owner operator whom we'll call E, again, fearing retaliation. After submitting a COI, cab card, driver's license, and potentially even more info, sometimes you can get the load, they'll approve it, and sometimes they don't, she said. I have given them all that information and still turned around and been refused. Both owners said Highways credits the final load awards and paperwork checklist to the brokers themselves. Indeed, Highway doesn't really make hiring decisions and just offers a broad menu of onboarding tasks to its broker customers. Highway's mission is to connect more legitimate carriers with legitimate brokers. The spokesperson said, "We seek to direct more freight to active and running carriers and seek to protect networks from those who are impersonating real carriers. A big part of the finding legitimacy is the presence of active and insured vehicles belonging to the carrier. If a carrier has not met a broker's requirement in terms of demonstrating the presence of active and insured vehicles, we provide a way for the carrier to connect their ELD to their highway account." I can understand where they're coming from with that, but I feel like it's a huge, not only just a privacy, but a security risk. And I feel like when you're asking for carriers to submit their titles of their vehicles, that's when you're going to run into another, I would consider a black area, because they're saying they're trying to prevent fraud, but then handing out that information to God, whoever that person is. Like I said, they could be in cahoots with some shady people and copy that title, and then you could run into other problems as well with that. Say both owner operators express frustration with a variety of carrier vetting services, and the highway spokesperson suggested this process would be welcome news to many carriers erroneously flagged by other platforms like Carrier Assure or Carrier 411. This process often helps carriers, especially smaller ones, said the spokesperson. For example, a small carrier without any inspections may have a hard time providing that they are running active vehicles that may be flagged across the number of onboard providers. However, an ELD connected will provide that they have an active operation regardless of their inspection. Now, having access to your ELD, what other information are they just tracking, or are they just seeing that you have an ELD connected to the truck, and how does that determine whether or not you're an active carrier in the first place? As it sounds like it's more like they're trying to collect information about you more than just seeing about protecting brokers and carriers from fraud.
See, that's
Most
what it sounds like to me too. Is they're trying to collect information.
Yeah, most carriers, however, won't have to go through the process V and E did. A carrier is only uh, prompted to provide this information if the broker allows ELD exemptions in their onboarding process and the carrier indicates that they have an ELD exemption, said highway spokesperson. When a carrier makes this claim to the broker, the carrier is prompted to upload a copy of a title or a loan agreement, the cab card or registration of and the driver's license. These documents are included in a secure email sent directly to the broker for review, and a hiring decision is adjudicated by the broker without input from Highway. The spokesperson continued. Carriers are only asked for this information if they claim an ELD exemption, and the broker has opted to review these claims. Again, if they're saying that only the broker has that information when you send it, how do we know that that same broker is not a shady person and is retaining that information for themselves to abuse later?
All righty. What's up, Pop Tart? I responded to you. What's up,
Hey,
Rig
Pop
Pick?
Tart, how you doing?
Rig Pick. So I've already talked to you about this, D, but I want to talk to the commenters here. I bought something. I've had one before the stream. I don't know if any of you guys are soda people or what, but do a little research and when you buy one of these soda streams, you basically make it yourself in a roundabout way. You put your own water in, and they actually have Pepsi and Mountain Dew and that new Starry drink. They got mug root beer. I mean, they got several different flavors that you can get, and a lot of them are diet and also the zero flavors. And what I've come to find out that the diet ones have a better sugar substitute than the zeros do. So when you get these, get the diet ones if you're one of the people that has to. I can't stand the sugar in the drinks anymore. It really bothers me. So I get the diet ones, and I just made some diet Mountain Dew, and man, let me tell you what, it's good stuff. I know you're talking about getting one, D, and I don't know how you
Yeah,
are on the sugary drinks or
I
whatever,
love
but
soda. I
man,
have a
it's
circle.
good.
I have a circle bottle here with hibiscus flavor. But what I don't just have water in here. I have sparkling, regular sparkling water. So that's my soda hack right there. That's how I get my
So you got the soda water is what you did from the
Yeah,
fountain.
yeah. I get the
Yeah,
soda water from the truck stop. You know, like I'm at the TA right here. They have the option. A lot of the Loves have that option where you can get that soda water straight out the fountain as well. So it's a good way to cheat the system and make your own soda.
man, that's good stuff. So Pop Tart says, prime example of why you never put your information in the hands of the enemy. You can't put your information in the wrong hands. It's just a no-no. Totally agree.
Absolutely.
So bacon and bourbon. Soda Stream is great, but I don't put soda in it. I just put flavor squirt stuff in there. I haven't had a soda in over 6 months because of that thing.
Hmm.
Actually, these diet sodas are really good. It's a sugar substitute. Don't get the zero ones. If you get the diet ones, the sugar substance. Because I was looking at the zero flavors, they have aspartame in them, and that's what you need to stay away from. That supposedly is what's worse than real sugar. Anyway, that's my little.
So do you have like this like just the flavor you just squirt it into the water and then you plug it into the machine and then
So
it'll turn it
well,
carbonated?
I'll show you what it looks like. I don't know if you can see that or not. You get a bottle like this. This is the
Okay,
syrup.
so squirt bottle. Okay.
Well, it's not really a squirt bottle. It's just syrup. And what you do, first thing you do is you stick the. I'll show you what the bottle looks like. Hang on. The bottle, you stick the bottle into the carbonator. It's carbonated water is what it is. This is what the bottle looks like. It looks like piss, but it's Mountain Dew. You take this bottle and you stick it into the carbonator. Hold the button down for about 2 seconds, and it gets the water to the point to where it gets carbonated. Then once you're done with that, you put your syrup in, and then you
Hmm.
you shake it just a little bit. You don't want to shake it too much because it's going to explode all over you, but you just kind of stir it around a little bit and let it mix up. And voila, you got your soda. You just put ice cubes with it, whatever you want.
So so instead of using the syrup, can you just like get like the little Mios? I guess that's what they call them from the stores, and you just put like a couple
I
drops
bet
in there and do the same thing.
I bet you probably could. I'm not saying you can't, but
Mm.
I don't know that they have their
How
own
much is a
flavor.
bottle of how much is a bottle of syrup, by the way?
They $5.
$5.
Yeah, it's not
Okay.
much at all. I mean, you can literally, and the one little bottle will, like I said, will make 2 liters, 8 liters basically is what it makes. Um, so I mean, it's a lot cheaper. I mean, your 2 liter. What's the average 2 liter price? 250 now. Times that by four, that's $10. The syrup is $5, and then you got to have your water. But your water is going to make several. You know what I mean? It
Right,
is a
right.
little bit. I'm not really looking at it as the cheap factor. I'm looking at it as the healthy factor more than healthier. Let's put it that way. For anybody that just loves soda like me, that's to me. I think it's the best way. Jeremy says water is great, and
Absolutely.
Pop Tart. That's exactly what it
Yep.
is. It's
That's what it
carbonated.
is. It's
It
carbonated in
it
here as
carb
well too.
it carbonates your water in this little thing. I think she's talking about the thing that I have. When you push the button on it, it carbonates the water and kind of stirs it up or whatever. Soda is worse than cocaine. I hear you, Jeremy. That's kind of why I went away from the sugars a long time ago. Uh, Mine with caffeine is what I use. I don't do the caffeines. try to stay away from. Mio is what he's trying to say.
Yes, meal with caffeine. Yeah.
I try to stay away from the caffeine as much as I can. Try to.
Mm-hmm.
So we're kind of caught up on the comments. So what's
I
your
have one called.
huh?
Sorry, there was another comment in there.
Oh, Aquila says they have one called Sparkle too. Huh? I've never seen the Sparkle. Okay.
Never heard of that one, but I'll definitely look that
I
one
tell
up
you,
as well too.
I tell you what I like is I like the Starry. It's their new version of Sierra Mist. Starry
Yeah.
to me is like a mix between the old 7 Up and Sprite. It's really good. What's your plans for the week? When you plan on going home?
I don't. Right now I'm just sitting here trying to. I have a goal in mind, so I'm trying to work on right now. I'll probably, I don't know, maybe, probably not next week, but probably the week after that. It all depends on how I'm feeling, and how my revenue's running. But other than that, I'm out here. I'm out here just doing what I gotta do. That's it.
Well, if my little plan that we talked about, I don't really want to talk about it on here, but if my little plan works out the way I want it to, I'm going to go home every other weekend. Uh, is what my ideal plan is. And when I say go home every other weekend, I mean I'm talking go home every other Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and leave out Tuesday. If I can make it work, that's what I'm going to do. So Pop Tart wants to know, did you change your bushings the other day?
I did not change the bushings. I just the bushings are all still there. There's nothing wrong with my bushings. It's just my tires. I just need to get them changed out. Hopefully, I'll get to do that soon. Right now, I'm just running. It's not as bad. The vibration is not as bad, especially when I'm heavily loaded anymore after I did that alignment done. So I'm not really, again, not into a rut. I am checking my tires, making sure, they're not getting progressively worse than what they are. But I try to, get a little bit more life out of them before I decide to change those tires.
Damn it, Aquila, why didn't you tell me this before I bought this? She says the machine does the same thing, but you don't need the CO2 tank. I'm going to have to look into that. Wouldn't hurt to have a second or a backup, especially those CO2 tanks. I mean, it's like $20 to get those tanks replaced. But I will tell you, I mean, you can literally, I mean, it takes, I mean, it was about every 3-4 weeks before I would change my CO2 tank out. When I was doing it before, and I was making a lot of soda back then too. So we'll see how long it takes. I'll update and let you guys know how long.
Sometimes just the water, just the carbonated water. I like just drinking just carbonated water with no flavor. Anyways, it's just, I guess it's, for me, it's more of the sensation of the bite from the carbon when you're drinking it. That's probably what I'm just more interested in anything.
So Pop Tart says, I saw you had a guy on talking about bushings and they got caught up with something. So that's when you had your wheels.
When I did my last video, when I did the MD alignment.
Yeah. So she says leveling valve will make it vibrate. It's the little arm on that has to be replaced.
Yeah, I took a look at that. We did take a look at the leveling arm. Seems to be fine. I have a replacement here just in case if I ever decide to go ahead and just measure that out and put it in there later on down the road. But that's an option that I have for now. But my leveling, the rod itself, it's perfectly fine.
Why is my heat not on like I want it to be?
So, what's your plan? You still driving for the rest of the day, or you're done for the evening?
Who, me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm down. I started driving at 9 o'clock last night. Yeah, I'm down for the day. I'm just up doing the show with you because you wanted to go on and do the show. Yeah,
We can't
I'm
miss the
down.
Sundays, man. We gotta
Yeah,
stay. We gotta stay on top of it.
my clock restarts at about 8:30 tonight. I'll be driving through the night again.
And you booked up
So,
for the whole week, or
well, I'm booked up till Wednesday to get me home.
okay?
Remember, I'm
Okay.
trying to make my situation and stuff that I
Yeah, I
got.
got you. Say less.
So, Quilla says I'll send the video. The lady makes her own. Okay, I'd like to see it. So Pop Tart says most important is not to have any play in the drive shaft. I've
Absolutely,
heard
because
that
that
before.
that would suck. Yeah,
That would suck.
that would suck right there. Carrier bearings are pretty solid. My U joints are pretty solid. Um, so I don't have any issues. They're pretty tight. Can hardly move that drive. Like try to twist it to see if anything's loose. So we narrowed it down just to tires. So yeah.
You know what?
Tires, like I said, I'm gonna try to beat some life out of them before I replace them.
I'm ready for this. I'm ready for summertime. I'm ready to put shorts back on, dude.
Aren't we all?
Yeah.
Aren't we all?
She's had drive shafts fall out before. She says.
Ooh,
Uh,
how fast were you
but,
going when that happened? Because that sounded like it would suck.
Flying Patty says, I think KO would like an international LT sleeper these days. Yeah, because I watched
uh,
his video. Did you see it? The
we
video?
watched it. Yeah,
Yeah.
he actually sent me a picture of the truck that he got earlier this week, so I got to see it before everybody else. It was pretty kind of cool. But then he was talking last night on his live. There's no refrigerator. There's no microwave. There's nothing in. They really didn't put anything in the truck, but I think more than like he's just there to get his experience in heavy hauling, so he can move on and do bigger things. So I don't think he's gonna be sweating too much about that. He's got, I think he got a 579
Yeah.
Peterbilt mid roof. It's pretty nice. Uh, I would personally just went for a Freightliner and just call it a day, but I guess that's what he wanted.
Well, there's a reason why he wanted the Peterbilt. He wanted to try it out and see if it was going to be a truck that he was going to like. He had never driven one before, so
Mm.
I don't know what his plans are of keeping that truck or anything. But
I've had a 575. I actually leased one when I was with one of those Chicago companies. Worst decision I ever made in my life. I wouldn't do that again. But the truck itself was pretty smooth. It did have a Packard engine, so that kind of little scared me a little bit. But it ran pretty solid. It was pretty good. Very quiet ride too. Very nice and smooth ride. But the turning radius, that was something else.
I've had a lot
And
of people the last couple of weeks tell me about PACCAR, and they're actually kind of convincing me that the PACCAR might not be a bad motor. One of
It
them's
all depends on how it's been. Like I said, not all engines are bad engines unless if it's what that motor that International made. Now that one was just a terrible one.
the
But
Max Force. Yeah,
yeah, but generally speaking, if you take care of your equipment and you service it on time and you make sure you keep your oils up, like you're actually checking your truck and not just driving it, it should last you just as much as any other truck because at least you know what your truck is looking like. You know what your truck, you know what's going on with your truck.
yeah. So Pop Tart says the driver was going through an intersection in Raleigh, heading to the yard, and it fell out.
Ooh,
Uh,
that sucks.
no Limit said, "Could I possibly get a professional opinion about something? If you guys laugh at me, no, absolutely. Ask
Man,
whatever
go
you
ahead
want.
and shoot.
Shoot away."
If we
So
have an answer, we might have it for you. If we don't, we just don't.
Flying Patty says, make sure that 18 that your drive shaft isn't out of time. That's where the slip joint was separated at some time, and it will put you back in the wrong spline.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Pop Tart got a tow truck. It replaced it, but it wasn't a bad thing. No damages.
That's
Uh,
good to hear.
Keith is glad that you finally went home. Life on 18 wheels. He says, I've always been looking at prices for trucks, Fly Rabbit, and the trucks with the Packards are significantly cheaper than the others. I don't know if that means anything, but it's consistent. Yeah, that is true because a lot of people, it's just, and again, like he just said, it's the Max Force engine that kind of really put a dampering on a lot of other manufacturers at the time. So the two big ones obviously are Caterpillar, which they don't make them anymore, and Cummins. And of course, Detroit Diesel's been around for years too. So between those three engines, if it's not one of those three engines, everybody's always kind of questioning it. And PACCAR, it's not really a newcomer. They've been out for several years now, at least 10, 15 years? What do you think?
And on top of that, these
Yeah.
engines they're not like these engines are not American. They're all European. at
Right.
one. So they've been Americanized. When they came over here, they changed emission stuff and all that stuff to suit for our roads and for our fuel. So I believe the PACCAR engine is a MAN or DAF. Come from a DAF truck. The new international S13 engines are coming from Scania, and Scania has a very, very good reputation with reliability and power over there in Europe. So we'll be seeing what that might look like for international in the next coming years. The Detroit DD series is closely related to the OM series on the Mercedes Benz because they're all family together and stuff like that.
Right.
So, like I said, most of these engines they're European in nature. When they come over here, they might be very reliable overseas, but when they come over here, obviously, like I said, they have to change things to make it because our fuel is different from their fuel and stuff like that. And our emission system is different from their emission system as well too. So there's sometimes there's some hiccups in between. But isn't the wasn't the what's the name of that motor again that we were just talking about, the
Max
international
Force.
the Max Force? Ain't that just a rebadge Caterpillar motor
Hell
or
no, not
just
even close.
something like that? Somebody was telling me.
I don't think anything even close to that.
Is
Not at
either
all.
that or one of them had their hand in building that motor? So
All right, so No Limit put his question out here. 22 Volvo, 1129 with fixed cost, 380 payments. Am I getting scammed? Well, if you do the math, 380 payments at 1129 is $429,000.
hey,
So
how
to
you did
me,
that quick?
because I already did it, to
Oh,
me, if that's what you're paying and everything you're telling us is correct, now 1129 a week, I mean 1129 a month for 38 months, that might not be a bad deal, but 1129 a week for
it's
380 payments,
four
that's
hundred and
$429,000.
that's
That's not any good. Pop Tart, how you guys doing the winter season? I hate winter. I'm just making do with it, and I
I'm
think Heath
staying
probably
warm. I'm
staying
staying
warm,
warm.
and we're
Island
eating
the
well
stuff that
too.
I have to. So
And we're
yeah,
eating well too. So
absolutely.
No limit. I think your goal is just about everybody's. My end goal is to own a truck. Should I stick it out if it works or build up to finance a truck? I have bad credit, buddy. You know what? There's a lot of truckers that have bad credit. You're
I'll
in
tell
the
you
same
what.
boat as most of us.
What
So
it what you have to take a look at yours. We can't tell you exactly what you got to do. You have to take a look at your situation, your financial situation. Ask yourself, what's the best move for you? If you're gonna be stuck with that truck and you're gonna pay $400,000 and at least you're getting food on your table, if it works for you, it's good. If you can manage to save up some money and increase your revenue by getting a used truck and getting out of that, if it's a walkaway lease, great. You can do that. If you're mechanically inclined, you can get you a cash truck and fix that. There's many avenues to success. It's just which road you want to walk down.
Pop Tart says they said it's no love like a mother's love. She was just trying to see if we guys were all right out here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we appreciate
we're,
it, Pop Tart. I'm telling you, we
we make it.
appreciate it.
How about you? Are you doing okay? Especially with this cold weather.
Yeah, how are,
So
how are you doing? How you faring?
Keith says no. Cats are bulletproof compared to the Max Force. Flying Patty says, whatever engine you choose, just make sure you understand how specific engine works and how it needs to be driven. Rev,
Absolutely.
speed, keeping heat, and the emission system. So Pop Tart says, Jesus Christ, yes, sir, you are getting robbed twice over. I agree. I agree. I hope you didn't run away. Where are you at? Who was asking? No Limit. I hope you're still on here. Uh, that's fixed cost, though. What else does that include besides the truck payment? But still, even at $429,000, man, that's even with his fixed cost, that's crazy.
I wonder
Um,
if what kind of truck did he said it
I'm
was?
waiting. I'm waiting.
It's a
22 Volvo.
what's a stretched out W9 with a big bunk with an
No.
RE sleeper on the back.
So Flying Patty says Max Force was a MAN engine with double EGR, and even in Europe, it was a disaster.
Okay.
No Limit says thank you. I generally appreciate the feedback. Truck payment is $6.29, but with the ELD tags, permits, and etc., it's $11.29 a week.
I mean, I could understand some of the some of the extra fees, but you're almost at $1,200. That's almost what 50% increase over your just your truck payment alone. It shouldn't be that high. Like, are you paying for, like you said, truck payment, ELD, tax, permit, etc.? Are you paying for, you got a trailer fee in that? Are you paying for trailer insurance? You paying for other insurance as well too? Because I I'm in the camp where I believe that if I don't own the trailer, if I don't own the trailer, I don't see why I'm paying for the trailer. If I'm not going to own it, why am I paying for it? Why am I
Seems
paying the
seems a
insurance on
little
it?
much. Seems a little much. So Country says he forgot he was in Central Time, but he's here even though he's late. Well, we're in Central Time too, buddy.
Uh,
Yeah,
we're glad that you're here. So
absolutely. I never heard anyone getting it that bad. That's insane, and it's 3 years old. Get ready for the shops, especially with the Volvo, man. The Volvo,
mhm.
you're going to be in the shop quite a bit, and they have to go to the Volvo shops too. Pop Tart says, "I'm doing all right. Sit in front of my fireplace." Well, that's a lot better than
Nice.
what we're doing.
I'll be at the barbecue spot in a few. Trust,
So Keith,
I'll be nice and warm too.
Keith says you're paying $240 for the truck. Then that's a pricey lease, but always is. It looks like you're either pay a big down payment or you pay more in the long run for no down payment. Okay. Flying Patty says, is that guy paying for the board's private jet as well? The board's private jet. That's funny. High Country, sorry I missed the Power Hour last night. You can watch it on replay. I watched it this morning
Absolutely.
when I was driving.
I try not to miss it because I like watching it live in effect right there. I like
Yeah.
watching when I'm watching my buddies' lives. I like to be in there so I can comment, support them, and everything. Yep.
You sure do, buddy. You sure do. You like supporting the bad guys too, man. I had to get after your
Oh
ass.
my lord, man! I'm just listen. I don't have no. See, my whole thing is like I'm just trying to get information, whether it's from the good guy, the bad guy, or the guy that's just playing Switzerland. I'm just out here trying to get information. However anybody else choose to live their private life is however they choose they live their private life. It is what it is.
Yeah,
But
Keith.
then,
He says, guys, he asked not to be mocked or laughed at. Yeah, me and D we're not laughing, and I don't think anybody here said or did anything in disrespect. We don't mean any disrespect at all, and I think he knows that. We're just trying to help out. I don't think anybody went over lines here.
yeah, I think he's all cool. He's all cool with us. Well, he's
We
all
just
cool with me. So
that just seemed like the probably one of the most priciest leases that I've ever looked at.
it's definitely pricey. I'll tell you that
Um,
much.
Speaking of which, what company is that? If you don't mind me asking, where's his name at up here? No Limit. No Limit. What company is that with? Anyways, I'm curious. If you can't afford to get a truck of your own, kind of like what D has, or go to Lone Mountain or something like that, I still think getting a truck through SFI in today's world is the best way because you're not tied to Snyder. And I've proven that. I've been to 3 different places with that truck. Um,
Yeah, I thought it was 19 places within the last 6 months.
yeah, I got you. I got you. I got you. So No Limit says, no offense taken. I get laughed at by many. Now, don't feel that way. We're not here to laugh at you. We're here to help. But what company is that? No Limit. We're curious, if you don't mind saying.
If you don't mind us saying, just answer this. Is it out of Chicago? If it's one of those Chicago companies, just say yes. That's all I want to know.
He says that's 7 years. Did you mean 38 payments instead of 380? That's kind of what I was thinking too, Keith. Honestly.
They might be going by the month. If it's 38, that's
Anyway, I just and if you don't have a down payment, to get a truck like what D did, um, I just think SFI is the best place to get a truck because you're not tied to that company. Problem is, you go to Swift or some of these other companies, or you go Hirschbachen like our boys do, then you're tied to that company with the truck, and you can't move it. You can't do anything with it. You're tied to their freight too. You might like the truck, but the freight might be shitty.
And if you're going that route, it's not too much of a big deal to just try if you can. If you're financially stable enough, you can save up enough money for a down payment for a truck as well too.
So he says, unfortunately, I get paid 37 cents a mile, so it gets a little difficult to save up the 1K for SFI, as silly as it sounds. So let me explain something to you, No Limit. You can get into an SFI truck, I believe, until the end of the month. It might even be stretched out. I haven't heard. For $500. I know 1,000, but they were doing a $500 special deal. So you might want to give Jeff a call and see if he can do anything for you. And
I think he said
also,
something about that. Was that Nolan Transportation? That was the company we was looking up earlier today.
maybe. Well,
Yeah, he
I'm
says that's
looking.
the company he's talking about. So
Well, I'm
yeah,
looking at
Risinger
pricing.
Brothers,
Yeah.
out of Morton. Where's Morton? Let me see where Morton
Well,
is. That's so near.
37 cents a mile isn't. I don't know how much experience you have, but even straight out of the gate, I think Swift's paying like 50 cents a mile. 37 cents a mile in today's world, even as a brand new guy, that's not too good. And I would imagine you got a few years under your belt. It's the company. I got you. It's the company you asked about earlier. 2 years
Yeah,
OTR experience.
Southfield.
So I'm still no 2 years OTR, buddy. You're good to you're experienced with 2 years, man. If you get 2 years under your belt, you can go anywhere you want to. I think you'd be better off going to Swift and just being a company driver than there.
So
Wow,
that
yeah,
company he's
something is
talking
wrong with that
about is
situation.
out of it's south of Peoria, which is near Chicago, about southwest of Chicago. So mm,
Well, Keith, to put that in retrospect, but an SFI truck is 11.29 a week, but before the other expenses, I feel like we're missing something. Well, I'm only giving you what I've done without any referrals or anything. I'm still, even at Schneider, I'm still making it. Every company I went to, I made it with the exception of F2F. You can make it with an SFI truck. Yes, it's expensive. Yes, you use it to get into a situation where you can put some money down and put yourself in a better situation like D has and, other drivers. KO did the same thing too. He got the SFI truck, put himself in a better situation and bought his own truck. Yeah, it's not always bad with an SFI truck. You either but once you get to the 1.5, 2 year mark, it just kind of becomes to the point, well, you know what? I might as well just stick this
yeah,
out.
at 2 years, I mean, just with 2 years experience, you're bound to go anywhere at this
You can
point.
go anywhere you want to. He says, okay,
Most,
thank you both. I
yeah,
have no idea how much I appreciate this. Hey, not a problem, No Limit. With your experience, man, you can go wherever you want to. I mean, even at a year, you can. It brings open a lot of companies. Um, No Limit. I'm going to put my phone number up here. Why don't you give me a call? I actually have a good suggestion for you, and I don't want to go over it on here. I've talked about them in the past. I'd like to talk to you and see if this might be a good fit for you. But give me a call tomorrow sometime, and I'll go over that company with you. If you didn't get enough time with the number, let me know, and we'll come back with it. Let's see here. Where was I at on the comments? Uh, Swift starts at 49 cents per mile right now. Yeah, I knew it was close to 50. I didn't know exactly. With 2 years experience, you'll get a little bit more money out of that too, probably closer to 54, 55. 2 years experience, that guy could be master trainer at Swift. I hear you, Flying Patty, but let me tell you something, man. I hope that wasn't a bad joke about Swift because there are some good people at Swift.
absolutely.
Quite a
I
few
can
of us
second that.
came from Swift, man. That's where I kind of cut my teeth at getting into the owner operator deal. Keith says, yeah, Fly Rabbit. I'm just saying, I think there is a missing link here. The numbers just seem. Yeah, I agree with you. I think his numbers are a little far off too. I think it's probably a 38 month deal. Michael says, James, what are you running? Midwest. To answer your question, I'll run wherever the money is. My thinking is a lot different than a lot of other guys, and it works for me. I do some deadhead miles, but I look at it as a daily rate, um, and I look at it at a 5 day work period because If you do a 34, you can't add the 6 and the 7 day in. It just depends on how you run. But I look at it as a 5 day thing. And with that being said, I like to be $1,000 a day, if not more. So if I'm at the $5,000 mark at the end of the week, then I'm good with what I have, because that takes me to $2,000, $2,500 take home.
And
To
that's
answer your
including the
question,
weekend or your 34. You said that's not including your 34, your day and a
well, I
half.
mean, yeah. I mean, obviously, if I stay out, I'm going to look at more money, but I try to run recaps too as much as I can. So to answer your question, Midwest, my thing is, a lot of people don't like to run to Florida. I have no problems running to Florida because I live in Florida. It gives me an opportunity to go home. So I like doing, I don't know if you'd call it a triangle or a square or rectangular, but something, I try to deadhead up into Georgia to get something decent. Somewhere from there, I'll go anywhere, usually somewhere like Pennsylvania, Ohio, something like that. Stretch over to Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, something like that. And then back around to Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, or even Florida.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of the area that I stay at. Now, I will go into Wisconsin on occasions because I've had good luck coming out of Wisconsin and going into Wisconsin. Don't really go into Minnesota. I'm just not a Minnesota guy. But I will go to Wisconsin. I've been to Michigan, but honestly, Michigan's been really tough lately too. I haven't really seen anything good out of Michigan. I've seen some good stuff in New York, but I don't like running in New York. I'll run upstate like Buffalo, Syracuse, but that's about it. I hope that answers your question, but yeah, I do like to try to stay in the Midwest as much as I can because that's where the money is. Keith says at 6 months, Swift is at 54 cents per mile. If he remembers correctly, that's 6 months of total CDL experience. See, there you go. I mean, 54 cents and you're good. No limit. Sorry about that. It's 280 payments, not 380 at 12 cents per mile maintenance. My mistake. So let's do the math on that. So 1129 times 280. Let's see what that difference is. 1129 times 280. That's still $344,000. Woo!
And on top of that, don't forget the 15 cents per
I
mile
don't.
maintenance.
Yeah, I don't think you can. I don't think you can gross
12
that.
cents.
I don't think you can gross that much money doing a lease like that. That'd be a tough nut to hold. Flying Patty Snow, not knocking Swift, but as a starter company with high turnover, like all the megas, is that guys with 2 years Swift would be good for training and making more. Hey, that's another thing to you for No Limit. You get a month in with Swift driving there. What's nice about Swift, they'll beg you to be a trainer if you don't mind having another person in your truck. You talk about making money because not only do you get paid for your miles, you get paid for the trainees' miles too. So if you do 5,000 miles a week, you do the math. You can make some killer money. The last paycheck that I had at Swift back in February of last year, before I got my SFI truck, my last paycheck was $4,200 to me. I grossed almost $7,000 that week between the two drivers. So
And you know what? You can
make some
do
serious
that.
money.
You can be in your own, save up enough money, be in your
That's
own
right,
truck by
buddy.
summertime.
You could do that for 2 or 3 months, and you'll have money saved up to get you a truck. Michael says, I live in Northwest Florida myself, Northeast Florida. Yeah, you live up there around, I guess, around Jacksonville. I live about halfway down. I live in the Melbourne area, and D lives in the
I
Orlando
live somewhere.
area. Yeah, he lives in the Orlando area. No Limit says, you guys are both so successful, which is why I decided to look into leasing more so financing. Okay. I don't know about us
I'm
being
not
so
well.
successful, but
Well, we haven't failed yet, so
we're
technically
we're still figuring
successful.
we're still figuring it out. Is what we're doing.
We're still
It's one of those,
successful because we haven't failed yet.
yeah,
So
and it's one of those things that it's constantly changing. You figure it out as you go. I'm totally against what a lot of guys say when it comes to leasing. I say jump in and get right into it. It doesn't matter the money situation to me. Yes, would it be nice to have money in the bank? Absolutely. It'd be fucking great to have money in the bank. But the only way you're ever going to be successful is to just jump in the water and learn how to swim. I've always said that. So Keith says that's significantly better, No Limit, but you're still paying about $176 for the truck. That's not bad for a lease, depending on the balloon payment. What's up, Love and Life? Haven't
how you
talked to you in
doing,
a while,
Steven?
man.
How are you doing, man?
I hope
Hey,
things are going well.
hit me up later. I got got something to talk to you about, Steven, whenever you get a chance.
Yeah. Call me later too, Steven. You can call me tomorrow, man. I'm going to bed. I hope things are going well with you. So No Limit says 0 balloon and walk away lease if I decide to go to SFI or Lone Mountain.
Yep, no penalties. That's the thing about some of these zero downs and these walkaways. They don't get you on the front end. They either get you in the middle and get you in the back end. That's usually how that stuff works. And then they already know it's a never lease plan, so they are okay with you walking away because they already made that. They already made that money at least twice over for that truck payment right off of you.
So Michael says he lives on the Palm Coast, just south of Jacksonville, 65 miles. Yeah, I'm very familiar with Palm Coast.
Yeah, I got a buddy that lives over.
I do
My
too.
brother actually lives over there in Palm Coast.
I got a good friend who lives on Palm Coast too. Michael says, glad that this is a safe space to talk and learn.
Yeah, you're welcome, man.
We
You're
try,
welcome.
man. So Keith says, so that's a pretty good deal, actually, isn't it? $11.29 a week fixed cost and no balloon payment.
It still has that 12 cents on the maintenance.
That 12 cents could rack up pretty quickly, actually. Flying Patty says, I am not brave enough to take on the high weekly payment, so I went to the older used route. I can work on my truck, but it wasn't mechanically inclined. A brand new lease would look appealing. Brand new leases
and that's
are
the same
appealing.
thing. That's
Yeah.
the same thing with me too. I'm a little bit more mechanically inclined. I don't have no problem getting under the truck. I have no problem busting my knuckles on fixing some of the small stuff. If it's too big for me to tackle, then the shop it is. I'll cry about the bill later. But if I can save $1 just by watching a YouTube video, I'm gonna do that first every single time.
So Keith just put up a question here. Or is it just that it's a lease with no ownership opportunity, meaning at the end of the lease you have to turn the truck in? So with that said there, Keith, what company was that? Ardor Express. Though all their trucks are leased trucks from Penske. So you'll never own their truck. And I'm pretty sure Hirschbach is the same way too. I can't swear to Hirschbach.
I believe that it is.
Yeah. I don't think you ever own the trucks. They just give you the opportunity to lease them. And Prime's regular lease, their straight lease, is the same way. You'll never own that truck. It's just a straight lease. You got to do a lease purchase in order to buy the truck outright.
What's the point if I'm not making any money? At least
That's
the
just
end goal has to be, I'm taking,
Yeah.
I'm taking possession of this truck, and then I can go make me some money.
It's just like F2F where they make you lease the trailers, but you'll never own the trailer. So Steve says, okay, sirs, and yeah, doing good. Headed to Richmond, Virginia. 18 just hit me up when you're all done. Right way to truck. Since I bought the International in November, it's been in the shop. New clutch, transmission, air compressor, and heater lines. You know what? Right to way truck. Aren't you with SRO Logistics? I think you're the same guy that said at SRO Logistics.
Once you get all that stuff fixed, especially with that clutch, you ain't got to worry about that for a good while.
12 cents a mile I factored in at 2,800 miles a week, so 11.29. Okay, so your 12 cents a mile is 11.29 is what you're figuring. So that makes a little bit more sense. Keith says, I think you're right about Hirschbach. I'm pretty sure that that's what it is. Hirschbach has a $30,000 to $40,000 balloon payment, so maybe they do have a balloon payment. Yes, he's correct. I thought that was you. Right way to truck. Yeah, I heard. I was talking to Brian the other day, and he said that a lot of your stuff got paid under warranty finally. So I'm hoping that all worked out.
It's always good to have that aftermarket warranty as well too. I got that to cover my butt just in case as well too, which is pretty decent. It was like $65 a week just for it.
He bought one of those mid-roof JB Cunt trucks that they have over there at Lone Mountain.
What?
The JB Cunt trucks.
What?
Yeah, he bought one of them mid-roof trucks that they have on the Lone Mountain website. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, they're good trucks. They're what you call it, mid-roofs. I'm just not a mid-roof guy, but it's got the Cummins in it. That's a good thing. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's what you got.
I think they all. Oh, excuse
Yes,
me.
it did. He did a
They all
video.
got They
I'll
all
check your
got
video
comments on
out.
them.
Speaking of which, I'll check your video out, right way to truck. Did I hear you say you're having some other trouble now? 18 something with your motor. Are you having trouble?
With my motor?
Yeah, I don't
No,
think you are. Yeah, I think
no,
his truck's running pretty good now. I mean, that's
no.
the
I
thing
was saying I
when
was
you buy
talking
it.
about Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I'm
I
just
was
repeating
talking
your.
about having the aftermarket warranty and what I
Oh,
was paying for it. That's what I was talking about.
I got you. No, I was going to say that. I mean, you just had some minor issues when you first got your truck, and that's the thing about buying a used truck. You're going to have some small things here and there, and that's pretty much what he had. Aquila says, "I'm learning how to swim. Things aren't not as always easy, but worth it." Aquila, give me a call, not today, but tomorrow, and we'll get you your next load. I'll try and help you out. I'm trying to help her stay moving and picking good stuff. She kind of got into a little catch 22 this week, and she had to let some stuff go. Keith, have you got new tires yet? 18. Go ahead. I'm gonna
No,
take
I
a
ain't
break.
get the tires yet. I'm gonna try to get some more life out of these tires before I try to get some new get some replacements. Plus, I'm trying to shop around to see what tires that I want to get. And not for nothing, I'm not trying to be cheap as well either. But I've been hearing
You
good
gotta get
things
the
about
best deal.
those Chinese tires, and the deals on those tires are just something else too. But I'm I'm actually trying to do my little research to see. I know Michelin X Line Energies, that would be my top choice. Those things are not cheap at all. But I've been hearing some positive things about some of these Chinese tires, especially Double Coin and Iron Man and some other Hercules and all that other stuff. Actually, I'm just doing research right now, but no, I haven't had them have them replaced yet because I mean technically they still got really good tread on them, not vibrating all that much crazy anymore. I did buy some Centromatics. So I'm just waiting until it gets a little bit warmer so I can throw those on to see if that'll completely or if just virtually eliminate all that shaking and rattling. That's what I'm
Did
on
you
working on right
did you
now.
check out those tires that Poppy told you about?
Yeah, I took a look at. Actually, I have a list of tires
Mm-hmm.
that I'm going through. So yeah.
All right, we
Hmm.
got 16 people in here. Anybody got any comments or anything? Speaking of which, I'm gonna go the right way to truck right now, and I'm gonna look at his video. Make sure I watch it later.
Yeah, I just subscribed to his channel too, so
I'm going to
I'll beat
myself.
you to that.
Aquila, you need to get on top of starting a channel. Oh, I'm already subscribed to your channel. Okay. International LT Eden Endurance Transmission.
Right way. Do you have what is that? A 10 speed or a 12 speed automatic?
Damn, I'm gonna have to sit down and watch some of your videos. So Keith says Keith is interested to see the Centromatics and their effect on the truck.
I tell you, as soon
Poppy,
as it gets a little bit warmer, I am definitely throwing them on. I want to make a video about it. I don't want to just take it to the shop and pay them to put it in. So I want to create some content with it. But they're sitting right up front here, right in front of my passenger seat. So I got them
Poppy
ready to
swears
throw
by
them
them,
on.
by the way. He absolutely swears by them. So the transmission is a 12 speed.
Oh, okay.
No limit. Did you get my phone number so you can call me tomorrow? I hope you did.
Hmm. All right, man. So what you after we get off here, you cooking or you buying food tonight?
I'm gonna go to bed. I'll probably cook later when I get up, but I'm going to bed. No
I'm
problem,
definitely
no
gonna.
limit. Yeah, I'm not really hungry right now. I kind of I fixed me a little microwave meal here a little while ago, right before we went live. Spaghetti and
Mhm.
meatballs. You ever
Yeah,
see these
those
Marie calendars or whatever? These little
Marie calendars.
man,
I
they're
remember those commercials on
don't
TV
laugh,
when I was
man.
little,
Don't
man.
laugh, man. They make a mean spaghetti meatballs, and their chicken parm is even better, man. Good stuff, dude.
Okay,
For the price. I mean, it's literally a $3 meal, and it'll fill you up. So I had spaghetti meatballs right before we started live.
I got you. I'm gonna head over to Soulman's Barbecue as soon as I'm done. As soon as we're done over here, that's where I'm gonna head at. And get me some ribs, I guess, or something. But
See, Keith agrees with me. Marie Callender's has some good frozen dinners. Yes, they do. Yes, they
yeah,
do. And I got to tell you, the old TV dinners from the past that we had when we were kids. Not, I don't think you were around long enough to remember that, but some of the older guys will know. These new ones like Banquet and stuff. They got some new chicken meals out that really are really good. I was
Banquet and
impressed.
Hungry Man.
Yeah, the Hungry Man's. Thanks,
Mm-hmm.
guys, and chat as always. A great show. Hey, no problem, Rig Pig. Uh, yes, he's in Texas.
Mm-hmm. Yep, in
We got
Texas.
Emil Gonzalez. Hey, what you guys think of KO moving to ATS? Um, that's you know, KO has a roadmap, just like Country. They both have their roadmaps, is what we'll say.
We all
They
have
know
our
where they're.
roadmaps, yeah.
Yeah, we all have our roadmaps in just sense, but they're a little bit more roadmap than me and you. Me and you have taken detours along the way at certain things. I think I can't say that ATS was always his destination where he planned on going. He just did a little research and figured out. But he's got exactly what he wants to do, and so does Country. Um, yeah, I think it's a good thing for him. He's getting
Yeah,
his
he went
experience.
over there because he
That's
wants
what he
to get
wants.
experience doing heavy
Yeah,
haul.
and he wants to do what makes him happy. That's the whole purpose of this game, guys, is not only to make money, but you got to be happy with what you do too. Some of us bitch and complain, and don't get me wrong, I'm the biggest bitcher there is. That's why they call me the diva all the time. But it's all about, you got to be happy with what you're doing. I can't imagine ever in my life being either a company driver or a person that has a Monday through Friday 9 to 5 job any longer. I'm not saying it would never happen again, but I just don't think that I would be happy doing that.
Wouldn't be my first choice
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
everything turned to shit. That's for sure.
So Keith, you're right, 100%. KO is going to be successful wherever he goes, and that goes for all of us. We all have to make our decisions for each of us. I'm determined to be successful. I've got big plans coming up here in the real near future that I'm looking at, and if everything goes well the way I want them to, um, I'm going to be super successful with what I've got going on. And same thing with
Hmm.
D. We all have plans. That's why we're out here. But yeah, you're right. KO is going to be very successful, just like Country. He's going to be successful with his plan too.
Absolutely.
And Country, out of all of them, his plan's the one plan that I don't know anything about because he won't talk about it.
He's
Yeah,
divulged some of that
yeah.
information to me before, but that's between me and him. I can't
Oh yeah.
talk about the man stuff about that,
Bill
but
says that
I'm
true
just
about
throwing that
me.
in your face that I know a little bit more than you do.
I
That's
know you are.
it.
That's okay. No limit. Definitely agree about being happy. I just struggle to the what if I fail part, buddy. If you do that and you're negative, then you're never going to be successful. Listen to this. There's a story, and don't quote me on the number of times. Colonel Sanders. Everybody knows who Colonel Sanders is.
Yep,
Kentucky Fried Chicken, right?
the guy who
That
stole the
guy.
recipe from the black people.
No, he stole it from his mother. But anyways, actually, maybe his mother stole it. But anyway, um, Colonel Sanders had 40 different companies that he started. They were all failures. He was in his 60s when he started Kentucky Fried Chicken before he ever got successful.
Hmm.
And that's what I mean. You got to fail to be successful. This isn't my
Absolutely.
first go around of leasing a truck. I started this in 2015. I went to two companies. Was the worst decisions I ever made in my life. It about bankrupted me and my family, and it just irks my wife to this day still every time that I switch companies because she has that feeling that we're going to go under again. I mean, it literally bankrupted me. And speaking of which, one of the companies that I did work for did go bankrupt, and the other one's just a piece of shit company that don't pay any money anyways. But anyway, I tried this out with very little research years ago, and you gotta, like I said, you gotta jump in the water. And the reason that I started this YouTube channel, so you guys don't make the same mistakes that we make. We try to help you out and tell you the companies to go to where you can be successful, and that way you don't get hemmed up into the super egos, the MM89s, and all these Chicago companies and stuff. That's why we do what we do, and a lot of that information is out there on just about every YouTube forum now too. So back when we started, that wasn't there.
Here's
Quillis,
my thing, right? Just a short story, right? We talking about being successful and being a failure. I failed at leasing. Just period. I just failed at leasing. Uh, I came out here as a company driver as a for a BCO at Landstar 4 years ago. That's where I got my itch for wanting to have my own thing. Uh, After about what year and a half, 2 year, almost 2 years with it, I left and I went to MN89 Chicago company. I failed at getting that truck, but I didn't fail at trying to continue being successful because every single time that I've left
the
and went
learning
somewhere else,
experience.
it was a learning experience and it was just one step closer to where I am now. I did 6 months with them. And again, I failed at that lease because I didn't complete it. I went to Swift. I did it for a year and a half. I was halfway through my lease at that point, right? And I failed at getting that truck. And I went to Schneider, and I failed at getting that truck. But when you look at the context of everything, it wasn't necessarily a failure because every single time I moved one step up. I didn't do a lateral move to the point where I'm at now. I'm no longer leasing. I'm actually a truck owner. So that's like a big step up from what I was doing before. So what's next after this? I don't know yet. I'm gonna see about maintaining, taking care of this truck, doing what I do, save up some money, and we'll see what else happens in the future. But so far, even though I failed at those individual steps, I'm still successful because I haven't failed. I haven't given up my license. I haven't say, "Well, I'm done with trucking. I'm out of the business." I don't because everything is too tough, like everybody else has been doing for the last couple of years. You know, we've seen companies get startup during COVID and they've all but shut down. We've seen companies that have started over 100, almost 200 years ago, and they've shut down in the last recent years because they weren't able to maintain the status quo of the whole situation. And yet here I am, just one guy with one truck and just trying to find the best niche and the best way to be successful. And like I said, I use the tools and I use the knowledge that I learned from my previous experiences from leasing to get me to the point where I'm at right now. So
All right. So Quilla, how was everybody's week, and what's your plans? Well, I'll be home by Wednesday. The load that I have drops off in Ohio, then I pick up in Indiana to go to Jacksonville. What about you, D?
I'm gonna go get me some barbecue and I'll probably regret taking on this 11 stop for next week. This 11 stop load that I'm picking up tomorrow for next week.
So Keith says worrying will never help the outcome. No limit. That's true.
Absolutely.
As soon as I get home, she's going to do her hair and want to look good for the camera. I hear you. You need to get on that. Get your YouTube going.
I hear you, girl.
That's true. She says try Amy's lasagna. I'm not a big lasagna guy. I know it sounds
I
weird.
don't know who Amy is, so I don't eat from people like that.
Is Amy one of your baby mamas or something?
I don't know
So
nobody named Amy.
Country says James knows just as much as you do, D. He says teeth, but he means D. LOL, just an FYI, even though he doesn't remember that he does. Yeah, I have a hard time with memory. So he's just reminding me D, not T.
D, not T.
Country has talked about some of his roadmap. He was talking about us on his next move in his last video. Yeah, he has. I remember what he's got going on. I just don't like repeating other people's roadmaps. He knows what he's doing. Wow, that's a powerful man. Thank you for sharing. It really motivates me.
Hey, I mean, the way I've been going through life, I've been taking every other people's life lessons, and if anybody can take my life lessons and use it as a learning lesson, more power to them.
Y'all didn't know we had D. Osteen on here, did you?
You're
Is that over
funny.
your head? Is that
Yeah,
over your head?
you're funny.
No,
No,
Joel
I know
Osteen.
exactly what you mean. I know exactly. I get the joke. That's why I said you think you funny. You ain't that funny.
So Aquila says, "Country leaving Schneider. He has a new video." Yeah, he's not. I don't think he's leaving anytime soon. He's got plans, but it's all within steps. I don't think he's ready for that move yet. I
See
could be wrong.
Country is the type of person that takes his times with his steps.
Yes, he does.
He knows what he's doing, and his choices aren't just, they're not like mine where I just do things on hopes and dreams and just on a whim. He's actually deliberate with his choices. So
I had him over at JB Hunt because we had that Toyota load, and he wanted to run Texas. I had him signed, sealed, and almost delivered, and then we lost the Toyota account. So it kind of worked out in his favor and my favor too. He would have been so mad at me. But we had him. So Key says, D. Osteen, laughing my ass off. That was funny, 18, just not because you weren't the target. Well, D's in the process of doing some new videos, by the way, just so you know, Keith. He's the one that always comments about you doing your videos.
I know. Keith rails on me, and it's fine. That's why I gave you guys 2 videos last week.
Hey, you know what?
Leave me alone.
He did.
I was hoping you guys were gonna leave me alone after.
You know the video you need to do? You need to do a serious video about your income. I'm totally against doing income videos too, but you've been there long enough now to where you can do just do one or 2 weeks of a video income just to and you need to break everything down because your situation's a lot different because you're making a truck payment elsewhere and you need to explain all that stuff.
Well, I don't told you why I wouldn't make an income video. You forget everything just like you forget.
Right, that's why I'm bringing it up because I think you need to do one. I understand what you're saying, but you need to give some examples. I understand.
I don't mind sharing information in private. I'm just not gonna post it for public viewing.
So he says he'll be waiting for those videos.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about
how long I've been. I've been there what 6 months now.
Over 6 months. You're going on 7, almost 8 months.
Really?
You started in June. You went over there right after I went to JB Hunt.
Well, you remember that, but you can't remember everything else.
I remember everything else. Don't you fucking think that I don't remember.
I guess I got to make me a 7-month review video about me being over at Landstar, the good, the bad, and the ugly. How about it? I should do that for next week.
See you later, Pop Tart. She's signing off. Sorry about it. I had a couple trucks come in her gates. But I'm going to do my shop, make sure my drivers are happy, make sure whatever they need to get done. Hear you. Keith says, that's right, 18. You can do the numbers content from a different perspective than the majority of the content. He's got another reason why he can't do his videos, and we all understand it.
Not can't. I just don't want to.
Alaska says, who put money in Trump's meme coin?
I didn't even know that he had one, man.
Yeah, I don't know either. I knew he had the Bitcoin stuff going on. Not me.
I thought something serious was going to happen with Doge since Doge is also the funny the term for the new Department of Government Efficiency.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be something that they I thought Dogecoin was going to go through some numbers because of that. So
Bacon and Bourbon says his videos will be coming out this week. Not just shorts. Plan to get a few drivers together for Bacon Bourbon and Blue Collar Roundup. Hey, let me know when you do that. Me and Dee would be more than happy to be a part of it, man. Definitely. Well, guys, I mean, we're at an hour and a half. We got 16 people in here. We only had like 20 at one time, but let's wind it down. If you guys have any comments or questions, pop them up there. I got to get some sleep. I know Trump's about ready to come on stage here in a little bit. So No Limit says, did anyone buy Trump's cologne or watch, leave it unopened after the purchase? You could sell it for a fortune after his last term. He also did some type of shoes too. Amy's is a frozen food brand. I've never seen Amy's. Never have.
Must be some somewhere else.
All right, guys.
I'm gonna have to find Bacon and Bourbon's channel.
I'll send it to you. I've got it.
Okay.
I'll send it to you.
All
right, guys. This is the end of the live, buddy. We're gonna Country going to Landstar. Yeah, eventually he will be.
That's his plan. He's 90% there on his thought process of what
checks all the boxes.
So, yep.
All right, buddy. Have a good night.
All right, man. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to our channels, and we will see you guys next week.
All right. Talk to you, D. Bye.
Bye.